Clapper, does Mr. Putin have any assets in the United States?
I don't know the answer to the question.
Who would know that?
Some component in the intelligence community might know it, or the FBI, but I don't know.
Do you know if any of Mr. Putin's friends might have assets in the United States that are being held for Mr. Putin?
That's a possibility, yes.
Who would know that? Same person? Who would know that? Same person?
I would guess the FBI.
Okay.
Hey there, political junkies, thanks for joining me again. Today I'm breaking down the wildest moments from Senator Kennedy's grilling of former Acting Attorney General Sally Yates. This is round 2, and trust me, it's a roller coaster of questions that put national security and presidential power under the microscope. Let's start with the big mystery, Vladimir Putin's money in America. Kennedy throws out the question, does Putin have assets here?
If the intelligence community and the Attorney General knew all this information about Mr. Flynn, how did he get a security clearance?
Knew what about Mr. Flynn?
Well, that he'd had a conversation with the Russian ambassador about sanctions.
Well, that was late. That was the 29th of December or so, or whenever that,
Right.
as reported in the media when that took place.
January 19th, I think the president was sworn in, 17th, something like that. How did he get a security clearance?
Well, he had a security clearance and had one for a long time. He's a career military intelligence officer. I don't know the specifics of when his fell due. The system is every 5 years. The current system, every 5 years, you're supposed to get a periodic reinvestigation. And I don't know the details of that. It would probably be done by his old agency, the Defense Intelligence Agency.
But don't you have to get some additional double secret security clearance to serve in the White House?
Well, yes, you do. And as I indicated before,
Could I ask you how he got one?
the process is done. I don't know how it's done in this administration.
Okay.
But my own knowledge of how it was done when I served in the Bush administration and again in the Obama administration, there is an extensive vetting process by the FBI.
Then comes the twist. What if Putin's friends are holding his assets? Again, no clear answer. It's a little chilling, honestly. If the acting attorney general can't say who's pulling the strings, what does that say about our security? But it doesn't stop there. Kennedy puts Yates on the spot about Michael Flynn. Yeah, the same Flynn caught talking sanctions with Russia. If the top officials knew about his sketchy chats, how did he ever get a security clearance?
That deals with religious freedom. But let me say this, I have tremendous respect for the career men and women of the Department of Justice, including the lawyers in the civil division who are handling this. But their obligation was different than mine. They must make an argument if they can make a reasonable legal argument. As acting attorney general, my responsibility was broader than that. And I had to look beyond the confines of the face of the EO, to look at the president's statements and to look at other factors to determine what was the actual intent here. And that was the basis for my decision.
And for the record, different travel ban.
Yeah,
That's a transparency gap you could drive a truck through. Kennedy keeps digging. Does working in the White House mean extra tough clearance?
Ms. Yates, are there any reasonable arguments that can be made in defense of President Trump's executive order?
I don't believe that there are reasonable legal arguments that are grounded in truth that can be made in defense of his argument that the travel ban was not intended to have an impact, a religious impact, and to disfavor Muslims.
So you believe that the arguments made by the lawyers who are now defending the executive order are unreasonable?
I believe that the Department of Justice has a responsibility to uphold the law and to always speak the truth, particularly when it's about something as fundamental as this executive order was.
So, big takeaways? There are cracks in the system, on Russia, on security, on executive orders. If you found this eye-opening, hit subscribe, drop your thoughts below, and stay tuned for more deep dives. Thanks for watching.